Company Investor Visa in Florianópolis, investing in a Brazilian business the right way. I'm Luciano Oliveira, a Brazilian attorney also licensed in the US, and today I'm here in Florianópolis, Santa Catarina. If you are an entrepreneur or investor looking to live in Brazil through a business investment, Brazil has a residence option for investors, but is not an open company and hope for the best situation. The government expects a real investment properly registered with a credible business plan. Let me start with this bold affirmation. The company investor visa is a bad choice for most people. I will explain why later in this video. And remember, this is general information only, not legal advice, not tax advice. Here is the baseline. Brazil's investor residence permit is tied to foreign investment into a Brazilian company. The standard minimum investment is commonly 500,000 reais. There is also a lower pathway, often around 150,000, when the investment is directed to innovation, research, or a tech-focused business plan. Now, if the 500,000 is not an ideal route for most people, we won't certainly dwell on the 150,000, which will be even more demanding and risk-prone. The investment has to be real, documented, and properly registered as foreign direct investment. A formal registration with the Brazilian Central Bank will be allowed typically only after you have a matching paperwork executed at the company level, addressing change in ownership and the upcoming receipt of the investment. There is no room for informality or playing games here. Think of the process in 3 layers. Layer 1 is the company. You need a properly formed Brazilian legal entity with correct corporate document. This can be a company formed specifically for this investment, or you can also invest in an existing company. Layer 2 is the money. The investment needs to come in through formal banking channels with the right documentation. There is no room for money apps or anything that's not strictly handled by major banks. This will involve at least one bank abroad and another in Brazil. Layer 3 is the plan. The government expects a business plan, typically a multi-year horizon, showing what you will do, why it's viable, and what employment it will create. Paperwork is extensive and you should retain an attorney specializing in such route. Prefer a professional with experience in this area, and that will tell you not only the upsides, but also the downsides of this visa. And regardless of the visa or residency category, 2 documents are typically required for basically every applicant in Brazil. 1, an apostilled birth certificate showing your parents' names on it. 2, an apostilled fresh criminal record certificate. Keep it under 90 days at the time of filing, preferably much fresher. Now, let me give you the common mistakes that cost people months. Mistake 1. Believing you don't need to worry about the future of your business since this is a permanent visa. This is not true. Although the residency is typically provided for prazo indeterminado, meaning undetermined period of time, the government is pretty straightforward that they will chase you down the line to verify if you are meeting the business plan goals and creating the employment you promised you would. Yes, they can and will take away your residency, particularly for bad faith applications based on fake company creations and schemes to return your money behind the scenes. Mistake number 2, weak business plans. I will open a consulting company is not a plan. A credible plan has numbers, logic, and execution steps. Mistake 3, confusing immigration with tax planning. Immigration status doesn't typically avoid tax obligations. Running a company in Brazil will create tax obligations fast, so you need coordinated legal and accounting advice. If you are serious about building a business in Santa Catarina, Florianópolis can be a great base. However, linking the success of a new business to your immigration foundation in Brazil is typically a bad idea. Isn't it true in any country that most of the new companies will fail a few years down the line? What you say about the odds when you are starting a business in a different country? That's simply too much of a long shot to make sense to the vast majority of applicants. The safest alternative when it comes to immigration based on investment in Brazil is the real estate investment visa. Although this route starts at 1 million reais in Florianópolis, as in most of the country, it is much better in terms of avoiding such deep strings attached. One last point about the application process. While the so-called registration is typically done at the Federal Police Station located on the ground floor of the Floripa Mall in Saco Grande, the application is done via an online system known as Migrante Web. The Federal Police will obviously not assist you with the application, and almost all applications will secure professional help for the visa. Also note that some older website pages list the Federal Police Station in Agronômica, central area of Florianópolis. The Agronômica station no longer handles immigration procedures for foreign citizens. Check our description below to learn more about the real estate investment visa and other tracks you can choose for your immigration journey in Florianópolis and Santa Catarina as a whole. If you want help planning your immigration to Brazil, schedule a consultation with Oliveira Lawyers, and don't forget, if this content was helpful to you, like this video, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.